What's good, guys? It's Merrick from MMMotivate. I apologize so much about the super long delay with getting the content out and videos and posts and stuff. I haven't been super active lately, but I have had a ton of stuff happen when it comes to my own personal fight and my own situation. As you can see, a little bit skinnier, got the hair back a little bit, but lots to update you guys on that situation. I'll be talking about that today, and I'll also be talking about overcoming adversity and how when life throws stuff at you and you really feel like you're down, you can build yourself back up stronger and improve yourself and really learn from the experience to realize how truly deep you can dig and get back up when life tries to put you down. I promise it's going to be a really great episode today, and we got more content. I'm going to be more consistent with the posts, more consistent with the vlogs and the videos, because I really love, reaching out to as many people as I can and motivating them, helping them grow, helping them realize their potential, and of course helping them enjoy life on a day-to-day basis. So, without further ado, let's get this episode started. We're talking about an update, but more importantly, we're talking about overcoming adversity and how you can dig deep and build yourself back up when you're struggling with something in life. I'm Merrick, this is MMMotivate. Let's get started. Alright guys, it's a beautiful Tuesday, March 26th, so let's kick it off with kind of what I've been going through to give you an idea of why I haven't been active with the page. So let's take it back to 2018, we're talking November, December. I was moving out of my apartment in LA. I unfortunately had just left my job that I loved a ton, because the chemo that I was on at the time, even though it was working, it was getting really rough on me, and I was working super long hours at my job because I loved it, but it was something where it was just not compatible with my current health situation, so I had to kind of back away from it respectfully, and I said this isn't going to be something I can do right now. Maybe in the future when things kind of settle down, but right now I can't do it. So when I was moving boxes and stuff, and I was noticing I was getting really tired. I couldn't, move a couple boxes around, pack some stuff up. I was just, really, really gassed. And I was kind of worried, because this is 4 years ago what initially, triggered me to find out I had cancer, because I was anemic. I couldn't get up a flight of stairs without being freaking exhausted. So when I was moving a box, I actually, patted my ribs, under my ribs, my midsection, and I felt a really, really hard area, kind of about 3 to 4 inches, like almost as if there was like a rock there, or like a tennis ball, and that immediately set off red flags in my mind. So after hitting up my doctor, I got a scan done at the time in November, December, right around after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas, and we found out that the chemo that I was on for roughly a year and 3 months, I believe it was, the chemo was no longer working. This friggin' rat fuck cancer decided to mutate, and that's the explanation of what was happening. The cancer had mutated, it had outsmarted the drug, and it was starting to grow again. So, after hearing that and, kind of dealing with that, I realized I had to, come up with a new plan. So my doctors were quick, and this is the awesome part, with the support of you guys, with the, what we did when they did the t-shirts and the stickers last year, that money, plus the money from the events, the Lighting the Path Forward, the events, that's my mom's little organization that she's starting and developing, for spreading awareness for just cancer and getting support to UCSD's cancer research for just cancer. With the proceeds from all these different events and things and private donations, we were able to identify potential new types of chemo that would work for on my cancer, and it was a still not certain situation, but it was better than flying blind saying we don't have anything after that other drug stopped working. So immediately we started to get to work on that, and I started in January this new type of chemo, which was IV chemo, which is once a week. Usually go 3 weeks on and then 1 day off. As all you other, unfortunately, cancer warriors know, it's kind of a rough go with it, and I was not really prepared for it. When it came down to the side effects and whatnot. So between January up until now, I've been on this chemotherapy, and unfortunately it's landed me in the hospital numerous times. I believe it's 4 times since January, with just awful symptoms after undergoing it, and with some tweaking of different medications and stuff and getting things fine-tuned, starting to finally feel better, finally feel like my old self, while still undergoing this treatment, which preliminarily we believe, we're not sure, looks to be working, but we're not sure yet. So that's something that I'm really thankful for, and this has been, without a doubt, not only through my 4-year fight with cancer, but through life, this has been definitely the most difficult time period, facing the most adversity. And that gets to what I'm going to talk about in the episode today. So to kind of wrap up my own thing, right now I'm still undergoing the chemo. As you guys know, you saw some pictures on Instagram. I actually have chemo this coming Sunday, and I will be down in San Diego taking care of business with that. So, but now we're going to talk about and switch it up. We're going to be talking about adversity, which I underwent with this whole surprise and what have you, and how it really can shape and change you for the better as long as you approach things the right way. You can look at it as an opportunity to grow and develop yourself, basically. So naturally, when people face adversity, there's 2 ways kind of that they can react to it, basically. And either of these ways are kind of natural and innate things. Basically, it's, in my opinion, in my experience, it's how you as a person have developed your reaction to something, an adversity or a tragedy or a toughness. It's how you've built yourself up, whether it be with like discipline, whether it be with, basically mental toughness, as they say. And that's not talking about, the kind of, suck it up, you can handle anything type deal. That's not really what I'm talking about. It's more so, how over time you build up a mental toughness and a resilience to these things. There's one of 2 ways people can react. People can either react naturally in a defensive way or an offensive way. So to explain the defensive way, I'll give an example. With my dad, who is a awesome dude, I loved him to death. Super intelligent, hard-working, instilled a great deal of good traits and good advice to live by in me. When he lost his fight with cancer, I reacted in a defensive way because at the time I wasn't prepared, for his passing. I always thought he would be this rock that would always be there, that would just fight through it, and that he was going to crush it and just, beat it and have it go away. But considering his condition and when he was first diagnosed, how bad things were, he, lived for 3 years after, and he lived a good life. It kind of, he beat the odds, basically, and he had a really good run. So he reacted to his adversity in an offensive way. When he passed away, for me personally, it was something I wasn't prepared for. It hit me hard. I was, down. I was depressed. I wished I had him back. I didn't, even focus at all on the good times that we had and all the positive stuff that came out of, him being a father to me. Instead, it was just, crumbling. I wasn't prepared for this. And, how well you deal with these things is natural. So if I had kind of, approached things differently, or maybe I had tried my best to not feel this way, then I would have been different. But, it broke me down as a person. It really made things difficult, difficult to go through life. I equate it to like a boxer backing up in a ring. You can only back up so far before you're against the ropes, and that's when you really gotta kind of determine how you're gonna react. So for that example, people can react in a defensive way to adversity. Now, kind of approaching what I want to talk about and what I tried to learn about after, and how I created this page to motivate people and to help people improve themselves. There's the offensive way you can react to adversity or tragedy. And this is basically, you have to be active to combat the adversity. When I mean active, I mean, you have to have a plan, and you have to use the resources around you, and you have to it's difficult, but you have to take a good long look at yourself as a person and think, how can I grow from this? What can I take away from this event that will drive me and motivate me and, get me back up? And just an important side note here, it's not something necessarily that's instantaneous. I'm not saying that grief and mourning doesn't exist. I'm not saying that, when you get bad news, instantaneously you gotta get on the horse and start fighting. No, human nature, you will be a little bit down. It's after that initial period when you can kind of either stay that way or, shift to, an offensive reaction, basically. That's what I'm talking about, that turning point. So, there's always exceptions to what I'm talking about. And, people who have a really serious, depression or mental health.
You were saying?
That was very strange. Thank you, Siri. But I'm saying people who have serious mental health issues, such as depression or different things where they do require, a doctor or medication. I'm in no way insinuating that this is something you can instantaneously snap out of. There are these really serious conditions that people fight with on a daily basis, and there is different things that have to take place for them to, improve their condition and feel better. But what I'm saying is, for the vast majority of people who are going through adversity, you can definitely do a lot to, improve your situation. It's just tough, taking that first step. Like I said, the boxer's backing up, and if you want to be offensive, you got to start, you have to stop and then start moving forward with a plan, with different things that you believe are going to help you. There's a great motivational speaker that I love, David Goggins. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard of him. He's super famous. He talks about how he ran his first marathon in San Diego at 260 pounds. No prior marathoning experience. It was 100 miles, and he did it. He literally did it. He finished it. Broke all the bones in his feet and had a host of other medical issues. But the man powered through and crushed it on his first try. And that's, I think, one of the best examples of mental toughness. He's a Navy SEAL, of course. That's one of the best examples of mental toughness and discipline, that he pushed himself.
At a 100-mile run in San Diego. And I was running this race as part of a 6-person relay team with friends, and he was running the entire race by himself. And the run was unsupported, so you have to bring your own supplies. So we had, we overdid it a little bit. We had a tent, and we had masseuses and food. I mean, we were ready for, in case we had to stay there a week. And he had a folding chair, a bottle of water, and a bag of crackers. And I just thought to myself, who is this guy? I'd never seen anything like it. And during the race, I kept an eye on him, and around mile 70, he weighed probably 260 pounds, which is quite large for an ultra runner. He had broken all the small bones in both of his feet and had kidney damage. And he finished the race.
Worst pain I've been in my entire life was this race. So I have my wife at the time, she's now my ex-wife. We go to Walmart, get a blue lawn chair, Ritz crackers, and Mileplex. That's what I'm gonna have for a 100-mile run. So, show up at the start line of this race. It was the AUA National Championships. It's like the best ultra runners compete against each other to see how many miles you can get in 24 hours. And I'm this big bodybuilder looking guy with his shirt off.
How much did you weigh back then?
I would say I was at least 230, at least. It may have been more.
And jacked.
Yeah, I was ripped the fuck up. I big old chest. I was jacked up. There's a picture of me.
You definitely didn't look like someone who could run 100 miles.
No, not at all. So basically, I start running, and I get to about mile 40, mile 50, and I'm feeling pretty good. I get to mile 70, and it was the worst pain of my life. I sat down in this blue lawn chair at mile 70, and the Ritz crackers after mile 20 became Ritz cracker balls. I wasn't hydrating correctly. I didn't know what to do. I was drinking Mileplex for my nutrition because I couldn't eat these Ritz crackers. Had very minimal water, if any at all, and I was just dying. So I sat down in this blue lawn chair as I was watching all these runners go around in this circle. I was all dizzy and lightheaded, hadn't gone to the bathroom. It's been about 12 hours. I went 70 miles in about 12 hours, which is good. And I looked at my ex-wife now, and I was like, I am fucked. And I started seeing like 3 of her. And once my body stopped, my mind just went off. At mile 70, man, it was torturous. And with blood down my leg and 30 miles to go, I started reaching the cookie jars, man. I started pulling off all kind of stuff. I reached in my mind, and a lot of us, when we have bad times in life, even the hardest person in the world, we forget how badass we are during that hard time. I have a thing where I take a couple seconds to reflect on, hang on, man, you've been through this, you've been through that, you overcame this, overcame that. I don't ever close my mind to the fact that this can be done. And I knew I had to get up. I needed nutrition. I needed hydration. I needed to stop being dizzy. So that's the first thing I did. I didn't panic on I had 30 more miles to go to get 100. I started about the process. Slowly but surely, I was able to stand up, and I was literally hobbling around this track, just walking, no running at all. I couldn't run. My feet were in the worst pain. This is the worst pain I've been in my entire life. Nothing in any training is even comparable to this last 30 miles. And what happened was, my ex-wife looked at me and she's like, man, we agreed I'm not gonna make the time. I was going way too slow. And at that time, at mile 81, something clicked that I'll never probably be able to do again, when my mind, body, spirit, soul, everything just connected. And my mind knew I wasn't fucking around anymore. It knew I wasn't gonna quit. It knew that guy was dead and buried and gone. And I was gonna die out here on this fucking one-mile, for whatever reason why, I was gonna get through this motherfucker. I didn't give a damn. It made there was no fucking crowds. There was no trophy at the end. I wasn't even in a race in my mind. It was nothing. It wasn't about nothing. There was no nothing. It was a bunch of people who didn't know who the fuck I was, and it was me against me. And I used all these different dark places to start bringing out light and just fucking going deeper and deeper. Ended up running the next 20 miles. I ran 101 miles, and I ran the next 20 miles, at about a 10:30 pace. And I did 101 miles in 18 hours and 56 minutes.
Now, of course, I'm not saying, push yourself to the point of, almost dying. But, he talks about the 40% rule, which is that when you think you're done with whatever you're doing, with whatever you're facing, whether it be in the gym or something in life like a test you're studying for and you think you can't go anymore, working on a project, what I'm talking about is 40%. You're really only 40% done, and you can squeeze out 60% more with what you're doing. And you can keep going. Your body and your mind are incapable of incredible things when it comes to dealing with adversity. It just takes the training and it takes the experience of going on the offensive that makes the difference. So now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What am I talking about on the offensive? You have to own it. And you have to own whatever is happening. So like when my dad passed away, after a while of just not engaging, just being depressed and not being able to deal with this, slowly, really slowly, it was a long process, but I decided to get on the offensive and start getting back out there, seeing friends, dealing with what I was feeling and experiencing. It meant, getting back into the gym, healthy mind-body connection, talking about, getting out and motivating other people, building up this page, MMMotivate, which is a huge part of what keeps me going, helping people and spreading the message of positivity and motivation. That's what I'm talking about. So you have to have a plan, you have to go after it, and find out what really works for you when it comes to dealing with these things and growing. And here's the best part of it, like I said, is that when you build this up, this resilience and this natural reaction to kind of hit the ground running when life gets tough and you're facing something, these things will stay with you. It's like muscle memory. The more you work on it, the better you get at it, and the more easily you can engage it when you need it in life, when things are being difficult and you need to kick in with discipline. That's the cool part about it, is as long as you work on it, baby steps, a little bit every day, you can get there to where adversity is no longer something that will put you down for a long time and kind of get you backing up and not enjoying life and getting out there with what you're doing. So basically, when it comes down to adversity, like I said, there's two ways you can react, and over time and with some work, you can be improved almost as a person. You can grow and you can develop the traits of discipline, resilience, and the ability to have peace of mind and perspective on what life is throwing at you, whether it's a tragedy or something personal, financial issues, family issues, relationship issues. It doesn't matter. This applies to everything. That's the great part, is that anything you can work on and improve yourself and dig deep and see how much you can bounce back, and not only bounce back but bounce back stronger. Alright, I think I've taken up enough of your guys' beautiful Tuesday. I'm looking outside here. It's an amazing day. Sun's out, no clouds. I think it's about 70 degrees here in SoCal. So I'm going to go outside and catch some rays, relax a little bit. But to you guys, I say thank you so much for tuning in and always asking how things are going, sending messages of support, supporting with different things, with the fundraisers that we're doing, or just liking and sharing the page. It's always, like I say, like and share the page, get it out there, like and share this video. I'm trying to really grow the YouTube page. YouTube is a big part of I love speaking and getting the message out there of being positive and growing and staying motivated and going after whatever it is in life that you desire to achieve. So of course, this is Merrick, MMMotivate. Find us on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. I'll get some more videos, and I'm going to vlog this weekend when I'm taking care of business with chemo, to give you an idea of how lovely that process is, but just to kind of get perspective on everything, show you what goes down when I go down to San Diego and get the chemo, and kind of after what happens to kind of keep things smooth sailing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, get the video out there and the page. This is Merrick Malikian from MMMotivate signing off. Thanks again, and stay motivated, people.